I'm glad to see.
Fancy throwing it?
Good luck. Kurva! Why the hell did I even start playing? God be with you.
Help me, people, please. I'm from Skalitz, and I'm on
I'm glad to see you.
I'm feeling
Take. I can't wait to see how you throw. Your turn. That's it. This'll be the one. We'll see. Finished.
About time I went my way. Sacra! I can't believe it.
Good day, Henry. whatever. Hey, what the hell do you think you're doing? Are you looking for someone?
Look out! Be off now. You.
Greetings. Goodbye.
What's that? Hey, who's there? Who are you? I'm looking for someone. What's going on there?
If
Back
you're up to
trouble?
no.
What are you doing here? Get lost, or you'll have me to reckon with. Are you looking for someone? Hey, you! What are you doing? Fuck off before I lose my temper. What part didn't you understand? Huh? Hey, you! What are you doing? Fuck off before I lose my temper. What are you doing here? Hey? What are you doing here? Get lo- What the? Is someone there? Hey, who's there? You've no business here. Clear off. What's that? Hey!
there and covet worldly goods, such an affront to our Hear ye, good people, love thy neighbor more than thyself. So the scriptures teach us. Us and the church dignitaries, but do they heed the word? Those bloated bellies, they fleece you of your last groschen. Why do you?
Yeah. Yeah.
Henry, I'm glad you came. Greetings. What do you need?
I delivered the things as you asked.
I already know. My spies told me everything. She was wearing the necklace this morning, as I asked in the letter.
So you'll go to the rendezvous with her?
Certainly not. I'm not going to pounce on her like a bull in rutting season. Her feelings must be allowed to mature gradually. Meanwhile, you'll get a potion for me.
I thought you didn't believe in witches' brews.
This is no witch's brew. It's an absolutely tried and tested elixir called Musk of Infinite Allure. There's a fellow in Sasau who sells it, and he guarantees its success.
Musk of Infinite Allure? Sounds irresistible.
I'm sure I can rely on you.
Good luck then. Hey, Henry's come to see us.
Problem, son of Wilson? Buy my potions made from magical herbs plucked from the flanks of...
Well, well, who have we here?
Ah, the prodigal son returns. I knew you'd come back to me one day.
Let me guess, you saw it in a dream?
I knew you were going to say that.
But I had a divine revelation. That next time I won't be around to pull you out of the shit.
Oh, well, I am sorry. But these things are sent to try our fortitude in the face of adversity.
I'd like to try your fortitude. I've heard you know of some irresistibility potion or whatever it is.
Oh, naturally. Musk of Infinite Allure. An age-old recipe, maybe even older. Tested by Moses himself.
Moses?
Or how do you think he managed to get his people to follow him through the desert for 40 years? It's extremely potent.
Yeah, so it would seem. How much do you want for it?
Who do you take me for? The wisdom of the ancients isn't something that's bought and sold in the marketplace. Did Jesus charge for his miracles? But since you ask, how about this much?
What? That much? You're a crook.
As King Solomon said, honesty is for those who can afford it. If you like, I can mix the elixir for you in exchange for a small favor.
Oh, not again.
Now, is that any tone to use with your master? For shame.
Apologies, Master. I was carried away by my thirst for knowledge.
I understand your impatience, but the way to wisdom is narrow and arduous.
And leads out the window. So what is it you want from me now?
Ah, my dear apprentice, everything's gone to the devil. I'm living from hand to mouth, sleeping on straw, and the local peasants won't buy from me. They say they don't trust me, as if I was some kind of charlatan. Can you believe it? Does this look to you like the face of a swindler? I'm an honest trader in sacred goods, whose only concern is the welfare of troubled souls.
A regular Good Samaritan.
And any time now the slanderous gossip will spread here from Sasau. I should leave before things get worse. But I can't go anywhere until I've made a bit of coin. So what's needed is to give the locals a bit of encouragement, to open their hearts and purses.
I'm not going to go around beating people for you.
What do you take me for? I wouldn't hurt a fly. Violence is for the dull-witted. We must gently demonstrate to them the necessity of buying my remedies. For example, to ward off a revenant.
Revenant? What revenant?
The dead return from the grave, a corpse that the soul is unable to depart from, which wanders among the living, filled with rage at its wretched fate.
Yeah, I saw something like that once. But it was just some drunk going home from the tavern after losing all his money at dice.
Don't make light of such things. Now tell me, do you know how to deal with a revenant?
Garlic and a crucifix should be enough, right?
Those are things everyone should have, to repel malign spirits and other evils. You are my trained apprentice, but the ignorant villager is entirely at a loss how to deal with such dark forces. It is our sacred duty to prepare them for such threats.
And how do you propose to do that?
Well, they're all doubting Thomases. They need proof. We'll need a grave, an empty grave that we can use. There's one along the way to Sasau, but it's got one minor shortcoming.
What's that?
Well, it's not entirely empty.
Not entirely? What does that mean?
You have to dig it up first.
Why this particular grave?
The locals don't like to talk about it, so it's surely got some sinister past behind it. And in places like that, revenants sprout up like mushrooms after rain.
Well, if that's how it is, we could open old wounds. That could easily set people against us. Again.
Then it would be best if no one could connect us to it, wouldn't it?
I'll need a spade then.
Yes, dig it up and
And what am I to do with the remains?
keep them. Human remains are always handy to have around.
Great. And how do we spread the word of this revenant?
There's a gossip in every village. Here, too, a woman who'll spread news quicker than a dozen messengers on the fastest steeds.
Where does this woman live?
The last house on the left, on the road to Sasau. She was the first person I met here, and by the time I reached the village green, I already had a mob looking suspiciously at me. The rumor-mongering fishwife.
And what am I to tell this gossip?
All you have to do is casually mention the empty grave, and before evening, I'll wager the whole village will know about it.
And that's all?
Not quite. You should ask her who was buried there. So we've got a story to work with.
So, dig up the grave, talk to the gossip.
And the remains. Don't forget to remove them. Otherwise, no one will believe in the Revenant.
I might have known any task for Capon would turn into some insane escapade. Grave robbing. Jesus. God be with you, good wife. Has something happened here?
Do you need to ask? Dreadful it is. I've never known such dark days as these.
And what about that empty grave?
What empty grave would that be now?
The one beyond the village, alongside the road to Sasau. Just by the river, on the Pine Headland.
How would you know it's empty? Unless it was dug up.
Oh, it's dug up, all right. Freshly. And empty. I saw it with my own 2 eyes.
Lord in heaven, what in the name of...
How come it's not in hallowed ground, anyway? Only unrepentant sinners are buried like that. Usually.
I don't like to say. It's an old wound that's best forgotten.
Whose grave is it?
Well, once a long time ago there was a young charcoal burner living here with his wife. There was always a lot of charcoal burners here, but this fellow worked alone. That's not an easy job for one man.
No one wanted to work with him, or what?
Ah, he was a hard-headed fellow who always wanted to take care of his family himself.
Well, I can understand that. It's always better to work for yourself than break your back for someone else.
His wife was expecting, though no one knew it yet. And he wasn't doing well at all. Soon enough, they had nothing to eat. And so he took to thieving.
Well, thieving is wrong.
Aye, but when there's a child on the way and your wife hasn't the strength to get out of bed for the hunger, well, you'd think differently.
And did he get caught?
Well, at first it was just a few eggs going missing from people's hen coops. But then it was anything that wasn't nailed down. And in the end, they caught him.
And I suppose he was harshly punished for it.
Even then, he didn't let on why he was doing it. They whipped the skin off his back and banished him from Leditchko.
So justice was done then?
It wasn't enough for some folk. When the butcher found out he'd never get any compensation, he wanted them to chop off the charcoal burner's hands. If the bailiff hadn't talked sense into him, he'd have done it himself with his cleaver.
Well, he got off lightly enough then.
And in the end, he got what was coming to him, and more.
The butcher caught up with him?
No. It was the mills of God turning slowly but surely. His wife bled to death in childbirth, and the child died with her.
God have mercy on their souls.
Amen.
Nothing could have been done to save them.
There was no one there. He had no one who would care for his wife. They say on that day, he parted ways with God forever. And he turned his back on the village too. I reckon he never forgave himself. Nor us, either.
The Lord moves in mysterious ways. But how did he end up?
Don't ask me that, lad. I beg you.
Come now, good wife. You can't leave the story unfinished.
I said no. Will you let it lie?
Good day.
I know who was buried in that grave. A young charcoal burner.
So begins the tragic tale of the young charcoal burner who became entangled with the devil himself.
Oh, don't start. What devil? I'm trying to tell you. Ugh. He was from Ledetchko. He was trying to eke out a living for himself and his wife, but he couldn't manage. When she fell pregnant, he took to stealing.
Pride drove him from the straight and narrow path, and soon he sold his soul to the devil to fill his stomach.
They caught him and punished him, but some of the people he'd robbed didn't think it was enough. Then when his wife died in childbirth, and the child too, he blamed everyone for it. Even God, apparently.
But when the time came to pay his debt to hell, the devil had no use for his soul, and took his wife and child instead. The charcoal burner cursed God, who struck him down in righteous vengeance. But The dead man's soul never left his body. He came back as a revenant to vent his rage at God and men and take vengeance on the living.
Jesus, did you listen to what I said at all?
Sorry, did you say something?
Oh, never mind. What do you want me to do with it?
Well, the question is, what would the revenant do to get revenge on the villagers? Well, apprentice?
The gossip mentioned the butcher. It seems he was infuriated that the charcoal burner's punishment was too lenient.
And the revenant spoiled their meat with his malign touch.
How's that?
Spoiled meat is a classic example of a revenant's power.
Huh. I thought it was the work of bad butchers.
That too, sometimes.
So, I should switch the good meat for bad at the butcher's. What about the butcher woman?
What about her?
Her conscience was troubled on account of her man and she couldn't sleep. But I helped her, so she's found some peace.
So, no problem then.
What? I'm supposed to scare the wits out of her and start all over again?
All right, if you can find some other solution, you don't have to switch the meat. But I wouldn't worry about her. But make sure it's the same kind of meat. Not even a revenant will turn a cow into a chicken.
He was stealing food from people, right? So, supposing he started again.
We should steal from people? Disgraceful. Have you no shame?
Maybe just a few eggs from hen coops, like the gossip mentioned.
Well, that wouldn't be too serious a sin. Will they put it down to the revenant, though?
They would, if I put some charcoal there instead.
And their nourishment he turned into ash.
What about his wife and child? No doubt he'd want to avenge their death.
Well, how did they die?
In childbirth.
And when his love turned to rage, the water turned to blood. Nothing too original. But it's tried and tested. If you do it at the baths, everyone will hear of it.
How am I supposed to do that? It might be a bit suspicious if I'm seen walking around with a pail of blood.
No problem. There's a certain potion that will do the trick easily.
He cursed God. That's very serious.
What is it that most brings God to mind?
They don't have a church there. But everyone will have a rosary. I can't think of anything else.
That's it! If folks start losing their rosaries, they'll have sleepless nights over it.
You want me to steal rosaries? But that's...
Or just exchange them.
For what?
For nothing.
Great.
So, switch eggs for charcoal, switch the meat, color the water in the baths, and switch the rosaries. That ought to do it. I hope so. Of course, if you come up with anything else, don't let me hold you back.
Well, what if someone sees me in the act?
They mustn't. Otherwise, it'll end up like Sasau all over again.
Sure. And how would I know if I've succeeded? I doubt it'll be announced on the market.
I'll be the first to know. They'll come, off you go.
But whatever he did, don't you think he deserves some peace?
Dear Henry, after all the poor wretch went through, I'd say he's beyond any peace.
But he certainly won't have any as long as I'm carrying his bones around with me.
Ah, but you know who those remains could help.
Help? Who? How?
Me, of course. And I'd pay you a nice price for a revenant's bones.
But there is no revenant.
Not yet. What do you say?
All right. I'll sell them to you.
Splendid. It'll take more than... Revenant bones. They'll be... Goodbye.
Why are you
Oh.
here? Bugger off. Lost. Do you want something?
What's that?
What's the recipe for that potion you were talking about?
You mean for coloring the water?
Well,
Pay close attention.
I'm all ears.
How love once there was a knight who, though upright, he fell in love with a fragile young maid.
Who's there?
But he was afraid his prickly...
What? About that?
Yes,
Yes.
good luck then. Take care.
Damn.
Good day. Goodbye. Good luck then. Good health to you.
About that recipe.
Yes,
Yes,
I understand.
I won't be drinking.
Goodbye.
God's sake.
Yeah. The Lord be... I got you that potion from the charlatan.
What charlatan? He's a man of learning who even cured the Pope of Imp. Once I drink this potion, the fairest creature...
The butcher's daughter, I know.
A rendezvous. She and I. You will hide and prompt me from a book of poetry.
I'll do what?
Here's a book of poems. I'll need a little time to get ready. Meanwhile, you can learn some poems off by heart.
Learn poetry? Me?
Stop wasting time and get to it. Come back to me in a couple of hours.
Take care.
What in the... What's going on out there? What in the...
Has something happened?
What are
Bars
you
of the
gaping
paying
at? Have you
guests, not
paid?
idlers with
No?
nothing better to
Then
do.
Get lost.
Yeah. Are you ready, Sir Hans?
Henry, something's gone wrong.
Open up. I'm not going to talk to the door.
That potion tasted rather odd, and now I have a feeling my face is broken out. How do I look?
You're imagining it, sir. You look as irresistible as ever, if not more.
But I feel as if I just fell face first into a nettle patch.
You're just a little flushed from the excitement. It'll pass.
If you're sure.
Why wait? Carolina won't be able...
All right, then. Will you stop dawdling? I don't want to miss the girl of my dreams because of you. Tell me, Henry, how many girls have you had in your life? If you've had any at all, that is.
Well, there's been a few, but I'm sure I can't compare with you.
Ha! Very true. One day plays will be written about my amorous adventures.
Comedies or tragedies?
That might depend on how things go tonight. What the hell are you... Tell me, Henry, how many girls have you had in your life? If you've had any at all, that is.
Well, there's been a few, but I'm sure I can't compare with you.
Ha! Very true. One day plays will be written about my amorous adventures.
Comedies or tragedies?
Good health.
See you later.
There's another very pretty girl living in this house here, but she's already got a suitor.
And where's that ever bothered you?
Since the time her fellow threw me headfirst into a dung heap and kicked my arse for good measure.
It seems your future subjects don't hesitate to take a stick to you when it comes to minding a women's folk.
I doubt he would have done it if he recognized me. I was, incognito. What the hell are you up to? I'll be late for my wooing. We're almost there. You'll hide behind a gravestone or in the bushes and don't budge from there. Hide, Henry. Time to get stopped.
How do you know it's her who will come out and not someone else?
She got the letter and necklace, didn't she?
And what am I supposed to...
What do you think?
Who's there? I can't see you.
Your most ardent admirer, fair maid.
Uh-huh. And do you have a name?
What's in a name? that which we call a rose by any other name would still be a flower, wouldn't it? Start. How?
What are you saying? I can't hear you.
To love and be forlorn is like night without a dawn. To be close with naught to say, like winter frost in May.
To love and be forlorn is like night without a dawn. To be close is not the same, like intercourse in May.
No! To have lips and yet kiss not is like leaving grain to rot. To love without consummating is like unsown fields in the spring.
To have lips and yet kiss not is like a leaking chamber pot. To love without constant mating is like nuns all feel in the spring.
Psst. What on earth are you saying?
What's that hissing?
It's a feral goose here in the bushes.
I shall love you then, my dear, as long as you lie with me here. If you'll not give your all to me, no longer shall I bide with thee.
I shall let you drink my beer, as long as you, buy one for me. If you'll not give your ale to me, no longer shall I buy for thee.
Jesus, Henry! What kind of yokel nonsense are you babbling?
Me? You're the one who's babbling?
You're an odd one. I've never heard such peculiar poetry in my...
It's the latest fashion in France.
You've done enough harm. Better shut up and leave it to me. How did you like it, dearest?
Well, it was, Father is coming! Hide!
Who was that talking? If it's some Danny again, I'll gut with my Philistine knife.
I didn't hear anyone.
Did you hear what he said? Oh, I have a bad feeling about this, Hans. I think we should...
Are you still there?
Still here, my love. How could I have apart from you?
Father's coming! He'll kill you!
He will not. Because it'll never cross his mind where I'll be. Henry, it's time for me to claim my prize. Whatever happens, cover my back.
There you are, you seducer! Now you'll see how a butcher protects his daughter's honor.
Buy me time.
You got some explaining to do, you bastard!
What are you after? You bastard sneaking around an honest citizen's house in the dark?
Oh, I'm just here to pick some cemetery blossoms. See?
Is that so? Well, you don't look like you've had much success.
I only just got started when I was interrupted by some idiot. Not meaning you, of course.
Enough of your horse shit. One more word, and I'll have you.
Ah! What are you doing here?
Oh, my darling.
Get out! Get out or I'll call Papa!
My sweet. How can you be so cruel?
Hey, what was that?
Well, I think the neighbours are being a bit rowdy. Nothing to worry about.
I could have sworn it was from inside my house.
Well, what's that got to do with me?
Someone's been creeping around after my daughter. I come out, and I find you here. Quite a coincidence, eh? So, out with the truth.
You're quite mistaken. I've never laid eyes on your daughter, and if she looks anything like you, I'd rather keep it that way.
Why, you fucking...
What do you think you're doing? Climbing in here, uninvited?
Ma chérie, I came to court you.
Then go and court me from the courtyard.
Don't try to make a fool of me. I heard it clearly. What was that?
Probably just the evening breeze blowing down the chimney. That can make all sorts of weird noises.
breeze? It sounded like voices to me.
Darkness and fear can do all sorts of things to a man's mind. But not to worry, good men. I'm here, and I know how to fight. Besides, those hands of yours look like brawlers too.
You really think I imagined it?
I heard voices too. Well, could have been voices. I wouldn't swear to it though.
Look, fellas, I was standing right here, and I didn't hear a thing. Do you take me for a madman?
Whatever you are, I want to know what you're doing under my daughter's window and who was talking to her. I heard it clear as day.
But if you're looking for the fella that was here before me, why didn't you say so right away?
Ha! I knew there was someone here. Who was it? And which way did he go? Out with it!
I only caught a glimpse of him. He took to his heels as soon as he saw you coming. Wisely too, I'd say, judging from the look of you.
That voice sounded different to yours, though. But where did he get to? You must have seen him. Unless you're covering for him.
What? You don't love me?
No, and I told you, get out!
Well, how about a kiss at least?
Out, out, out!
Jasem skutni hori kodelników syn.
What the fuck are you playing at? My patience is wearing thin.
Jasem skutni hori kodelników syn.
Jesus, stop your damn screeching!
Na kopeczku stala plakala, plakala. Jezu, Jezu Maria, volala, volala. Jezu, Jezu Maria, Jezu Jemine. Budale tu chłapec nebone. Budale tu chłapec nebone.
Christ almighty! Let's go, fellas. This one ain't right in the head. The guards will have him for screeching after curfew. But if I ever see you here again, I'll beat some sense.
Greetings. What business have you?
How did it go with Carolina, Sans?
It was a disaster, Henry. A disaster.
How come? Didn't your recitation do the trick?
What kind of nonsense were you feeding me? Carolina thought I was a thief breaking in to rob the place. I tried to explain, but she wouldn't listen. She told me to get out or she'd call her father.
Oh, you're lucky I managed to keep him busy. Only now he thinks I'm the village idiot.
Well, thanks for that, at least. Anyway, Carolina slapped...
Well, back to writing love letters.
To hell with love letters. Imagine.
Shame. She missed out on something very rare.
Indeed. Here's the letter, Henry. Read it. At least you're capable.
See you later.
Look out!
We're almost there. You'll hide behind a gravestone or in the bushes and don't budge from there. Otherwise you might scare her off.
Hide, Henry. Time to get started. How do you know it's her who will come out and not someone else? She got the letter and necklace, and what am I? What did...
What are you saying?
Gentle night, why linger on? I yearn thus for my love so long. Without her words to still my breast, who shall set my soul to rest?
Gentle knight, why linger on? I earned this from my love so long. Whip out your worthy silky breasts. Who shall suck my salty bits?
No! And now my heart in sorrow dwells, from melancholic pining swells, since I, alas, was forced to part from the mistress of my heart.
I know my horses sort of well. Some alcohol from 9 to 12. Seems I always have whores apart from the mistress of my heart.
Psst. What on earth are you saying?
What's that hissing?
It's
Ah, Lord, let me not wait in vain. I long to see my love again. O gentle sir, be of good cheer. I shall not cling to another dear.
Landlord, let me not wait in vain. I long to sing and laugh again. O gentle sir, get off your chair. I shall not bring you another beer.
Jesus, Henry! Me?
You're an I've never heard...
It's the latest fashion in France. You've done enough harm. Better shut...
How did you like it, dear?
Father is coming! Hide!
Who was that talking? If it's some dandy again, I'll gut with my filleting knife.
I didn't hear anyone.
Did you hear what he said? No, I have a bad feeling about this, Hans. I think we should...
Are you still there?
Still, Henry. It's time for me to claim my prize. Whatever happens, cover my... There you are! What are you after?
Oh, I'm just here to pick some cemetery blossoms.
Is that...
I only just got started when I was interrupted by some idiot.
Enough of your... Hey!
Well, I think that...
I could have sworn it was from inside my house.
What's that got...
Someone's been
You're quite
Why, you... Don't try to...
Are you alright? It seems to me you're hearing things other folk can't hear. That's not good.
You're saying I'm hearing voices in my head?
Well, that's not necessarily a bad thing. Sent Euphrosyne of Polotsk heard voices too, and she founded a monastery and churches and things.
I heard voices too. Well, could have been voices. I wouldn't swear to it though.
Look, fellas, I was standing right...
Whatever you are, I...
Good neighbour, it can't be denied that old age dulls a man's ears. I'm here alone, praying for the souls of the good people resting in the cemetery. I've nothing to do with your daughter.
That voice sounded... But where did he... Unless you're covered...
Yeah.
What the...
Yeah, sir.
Jesus!
Nakropetkusta.
Christ almighty, but if I ever...
Can't just walk around. Yeah.
Watch where you're going, you lout! You nearly killed me!
Greetings. What business have you?
How did it go with Carolina, Sans?
Henry, it was the most wonderful night of my life. She was completely entranced by my courting. I hardly had to touch her, and she melted in my arms. And then she took me to paradise. It was glorious. It was sublime. Thanks, in part, to you, my faithful henchman and messenger of love. You've earned your reward.
It was an honour, Sir Hans. When are you going to see her again?
Oh, I'm not going to see her again. All beautiful things must come to an end, and, after all, I am a nobleman, and she is the butcher's daughter.
Well, that's how it ends, with the love of your life. After the secret gifts, the letters, the intrigues, reciting poetry in the moonlight.
My eloquence was wasted on her, Henry. Imagine, the silly cow couldn't even read. She returned the letter to me unopened.
Here's the letter, Henry. Read it. At least you're capable of appreciating my literary talent.
See you later.
And well, I'm sure we can come to some agreement, your lordship.
Well, bearing in mind, Master Butcher, that we have nothing to come to agreement about yet.
Well, yes, sir. No, sir. Well, I thought I ought to let you know what happened. My daughter's good name could be dragged through the mud. And his young lordship's too, of course.
Well, only if she should find us. Only if she should find herself with a permanent reminder.
Well, that could happen yet, sir, couldn't it? If her belly starts to grow. You know how word gets around, and, well, folk would assume that Sir Hans is the father, even if some other young fellow was to come along in the meanwhile, and, well, you know, and we already know, the girl can't be watched.
Are you trying to blackmail me? Have you forgotten that I am the lord of this town, and that you are nothing but a stinking butcher?
Oh, God forbid, sir. I'm just thinking of his young lordship's reputation, and my girl's. But, of course, if his young lordship was to recognize the bastard as his own, and pay for his upbringing...
You can thank your lucky stars you're the only butcher around here. Otherwise, I'd have you out on your ear this very day.
But, sir, I'm only to...
Here, take this, you damn scoundrel, and never show your face here again.
Oh, thank you, your lordship. I'm sure this will be enough. Thank you, sir. Thank you kindly.
Blasted fool capon. I'll wring his neck. I'll have his balls on a platter!
Greetings.
Sir Radzig?
What do you need, Henry?
It's about Matthias, a friend of mine from Skalitz. He's now recovering from his wounds at the Sasau infirmary, but they won't let him stay after harvest. And his sweetheart, Johanka. Soon she'll have nowhere to go either. So, I was wondering if maybe you could give them some job?
I'm sorry, Henry, but I can't take in everyone from Skalitz who has nowhere to go.
Just for the winter, sir, please. Matthias's life was hanging by a thread. And then there's his sweetheart, too, Johanka. The Inquisitor tried her for heresy, but she was cleared. She really doesn't have it easy.
I heard something about this business with Johanka. You were there for it?
I was, but it's a long story.
All right. You must tell me about it sometime. As for your request, it's good of you to want to help. Let them come after the harvest.
Thank you. You won't regret it. Matthias won't lose any swords.
All right.
Sir, my investigation led me back to Skalitz, and I happened across a criminal there. I just wanted to report to you, sir, that I dealt with that murderer. He attacked me and... well, I got the better of him. He won't be doing any more harm to anyone.
That was a brave deed, Henry. Thank you. I sent a patrol there some time ago, and they never returned. Take care.
How wide?